Welcome back to the Open Air. It's Jeff Jorgensen. I'm sitting here in the studio with Monty Goodike. And
the Monty.
Yeah, and we are talking about the ACA event, or the ACCA event that we went to in Kansas last weekend. What a ton of fun.
Blast.
And we were in the break, we were talking about, some of the challenges that we had in trying to record. We didn't get to all the people we wanted to because, limited time, limited space, limited resources, limited equipment.
And we ran out of energy.
And people had limited time. Well,
yeah,
it was so hot and so windy,
Yep.
and there's just so much going on, and everybody else was busy, so it was hard to get schedules coordinated. So we didn't quite get as much as we wanted to, but we got some fantastic people.
I think one of the things that we can take away from this is that for me, well, for both of us really, is one of the things that we need to do, and this might be advisable to everybody else that's doing podcasts and YouTube and stuff, is that, well, bring headphones, but plan ahead. Plan your interviews. Coordinate with the people that you want to interview ahead of time, before the event, and get an estimated time and stuff like that. That's really important at events like this because their time is limited, our time is limited.
Right. And normally we would do that, but this event literally came together. They planned it in less than 2 months' time.
Yeah, I had 2 weeks' notice.
And, and I don't think and we didn't have any idea who was going to be there, who was going to be able to make it. And a lot of people, I think
half of the
I decided to go 2 weeks ahead of the event, right? So I had so many other things going on, and I had to juggle my schedule and make things work, that I was only able to decide to go 2 weeks ahead of time. And I'm sure a lot of other people, were maybe planning to go, but they didn't know when they were going to get there, or, some people flew in. And, when you fly in, when you fly privately in your own airplane, that poses some challenge because weather, maintenance is the scheduling. And that, inadvertently, that ends up being a segue into one of the things I wanted to talk about. So 2 people at that event. So Sarah Rovner, who you met at the event, she bought us a beer and just super nice. She's a very
She bought you a beer. I didn't have one beer. Not one single.
Well, actually,
drink
she
while
got
we
me
were
a beer because I had the.
Okay.
She didn't buy it because I had the lanyard as the event. The first keg, the beer was free, so
I wouldn't have refused
got
it
me
if
a free beer.
Yeah, somebody
it
brought
was
me
free
one.
to her, but
Sure,
it was nice of her to invite me over to get a free beer.
Yeah.
And I didn't buy you a beer on purpose because I was drinking beer and you were my driver.
I'm the designated driver. yeah, and which is good. There's another lesson to every kid listening: never drive after you've had a drink, ever, or fly.
Well, if they're kids listening, don't drink.
Well, if you're 21,
period.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
yeah, if you're 21 and you do drink, don't drive.
Don't drive.
Stupid.
Even one drink, it's not worth it.
Yeah, no, absolutely stupid. And.
So Sarah, I think she had issues. She had troubles with her airplane.
She did.
Right?
So she's an accomplished airline pilot. She also has a ferry business, Full Throttle Aviation. She does an amazing job. She's had several overseas ferries to like Europe and stuff.
No,
she goes to South America.
We're not talking about the ferries like Disney Princess.
No,
ferries.
ferrying aircraft.
Okay.
No, not little twinkle sprinkles kind of ferries.
Just gotta be
not liberals.
Be clear.
We're
Yeah.
Oh, am I in trouble for that?
You might be.
We are not going political with this.
No.
With this at all. That was just a joke.
You want me to edit that out?
I feel
No,
bad
I'm just
now.
kidding. I'm not going to.
Yeah, we can edit that out in post, right? So, but anyway, she was flying in a what was it? A Beech Baron, I believe it is, twin engine airplane.
Yeah.
And she noticed on her way in, because she's got so much experience as a pilot, and she's ferried aircraft, she doesn't, super know well that, she monitors the gauges very carefully, very, very skilled, trained. She noticed the oil pressure was going down and the oil temperature was going up, right? So she's got low pressure and high temperature.
And those two things are negative, by the way. That's
bad.
a bad thing to have happen in an airplane.
So don't do that.
Yeah.
And so
oil is your friend.
So Wichita is not that far. What was it? 17 miles from Wichita to Benton? It's not that far.
It was about 20 from our hotel in Wichita to
driving time.
It
It was, but if you're going, flying through the air from airport to airport, I think it's 17 miles. Not that far.
No.
But she was over Wichita, and she's like, you know what? I've got problems. I'm not going to push it another 17 miles. I'm going to land now. So she landed at Wichita, you know.
Well, being a twin engine, she could almost have just shut one off.
She could have shut down the hot engine, and she could have flown it. A Baron will fly in one engine, you know, for a long distance.
It'll maintain altitude.
Oh
correct?
Yeah, it'll maintain. In fact, a Baron is one of the ones that's got enough power. It would still climb with one engine. So.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, if I was going to lose an engine in a twin engine airplane, that would be the one I'd want to be in.
Okay.
It's a great airplane.
I've never flown in one.
But she's, you know, very conservative. She's like, you know what? I'm not going to take any chances. As soon as first sign of a problem, she's like, I'm going to land and figure it out on the ground. She got on the ground, and the engine had thrown a rod. Right?
Yeah,
so
we saw pictures
she shelled
of this thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she took a picture of the engine. She's like, if I could represent 2020 in one picture, this would be it.
You could literally see the piston in there.
Oh yeah, it was just
and the pieces
shelled the engine. So that was a really expensive trip for her, you know, and the owner of the aircraft.
Tens of thousands of dollars, I would imagine.
I think an engine rebuild on that is probably closer to $40,000-$50,000. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, hey, it has to be done now.
Right. Yeah. And, you know, and that's for the safety of, you know, that's the whole purpose of a twin engine is, you know, for that additional safety. So thank goodness she had that.
Yeah. Had that been a single engine, you'd have to coast down.
And that's one of the things with the open air. A lot of people I get, you know, when I talk to people, I'm a pilot or whatever, and they're like, oh, I'd be afraid of crashing an airplane. You know, emergencies happen in airplanes, I wouldn't say all the time, but occasionally they happen. And a large majority of the emergencies are a non-factor because the pilot lands at an airport or in another instance. So ironically at this event, another lady pilot that I know, Fly Girl Kelly, she had, and I believe she has an RV aircraft, and I don't remember which model it is, but she was flying home from the event and had an engine failure and had to land on a highway.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah, she did. And, you know, it took her, I don't remember, 5 minutes and some odd seconds from the time that she had the engine failure to the time that she landed. And she's like, that was the longest 5.5 minutes of her life. You know,
I
there's
bet.
all the things you're thinking and trying to do. And she's like, you know, she was honestly afraid because your pilot training kicks in and you know what things you're supposed to be doing and you're doing the best of your ability. But the reality sets in that, you know, you're going to land this airplane. You have no, you know, that we teach in training, go around. If it doesn't look good, your landing's not good, you go around. Well, when you have no engine, go around is no longer an opportunity. You've got to nail it the first time. Well, at a familiar airport landing on a runway, nailing the landing the first time is, you know, relatively routine for an experienced pilot. But even a very experienced pilot landing on a highway that you've obviously never landed on before with a failed engine, right? So you've never landed with a failed engine before. These are two combinations that make it really scary, you know?
Huh.
But
yeah, I bet.
So the irony was two of the female pilots that flew into this, you know, very accomplished, highly rated, highly respected ladies in the trade, and both of them just happened to have, you know, engine failures at this event. And, you know, kudos to their training and their skill set. And, you know, I'm thankful they're both okay. And their passengers are okay, and that they made it. And I'm sure both of them will be speaking about it and, you know, helping others learn from that experience so we can keep pilots safe.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to watch for their YouTube videos or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Well, hey, let's take a break. Your camera just quit, so that was a sign to go to break, and we'll be right back with segment 3.